This is going to be an interesting review. I'm going to point out some things, and I wasn't sold on this thing, like, at all. As a matter of fact, this was going to be the original thumbnail. Pretty good, if you ask me. Maybe the dragons could come back for another weapon. But the more I use different times, the more it just simply can't be denied. It falls short to me in some areas, but where it excels, it really excels. I have some pros and cons for this thing, and what I foresee is that some of my pros are going to be cons for you, and some of my cons are going to be pros for you. And I think we're going to agree on some things as well. Different Times is a craftable Strand 540 rapid frame pulse rifle, so 2 pros right there I think we can all agree on. Strand, craftable. And the first of many Strand pulses goes a long way. Since those are a couple pros, I gotta talk about a con. And I worry about telling you because once you see it, you just can't unsee it. It drives me crazy, so I have to talk about it. This thing has very intense and odd muzzle flash, but not in the way that you think. Like recently, Perpetualis, in a patch note, they reduced the size and intensity of the muzzle flash for the Perpetualis auto rifle. So you're seeing it right now. This is how things should be. Different Times has same but different issues. It's not necessarily muzzle flash. We have 3 bullets coming out of a burst. Each bullet has its own bullet trail, which is really cool. It's like a tracer round for Strand. But the issue is that those are 3 separate assets on a pulse rifle. When shooting at something, they stack right on top of each other. And this leads to a very opaque, fat green strand line going from your reticle to the target. It's so murky, and you add in things like things shooting back, the hit markers of you landing shots. It feels awful to me, and I think you can see what I'm talking about. Moving on. It's the taken brother of Outlast, and Outlast is going to offer a completely different flavor. It's a good one. We'll talk about that in a couple weeks. And when you put them side by side, Different Times in Outlast, not only is Outlast just statted better, its recoil ends on the curve, 60. So a counterbalance mod, gonna make it vertical at 75 out of the gate. And base stat wise, Different Times isn't bad. There are worse rapid fires out there. The frame stays true. Extremely poor handling and reload. But there is a little wild card here, and pound for pound, what it does, what it actually does, origin trait wise, on these Season of the Deep Taken weapons. One of the best origin stat buffs in the game. It feels like surplus times 2 to me. However, the origin trait trigger is less than ideal. Unstated hunger, increased handling, reload speed, and stability when no abilities are fully charged. And just visually here, looking at it, we switched over into the trait. The performance is so much better, and all the stats that it gives are greatly appreciated by a rapid fire frame. Handling, reload, and stability is always going to be good on a pulse rifle. It does have PvE and PvP capabilities. I crafted mine for the Crucible. We'll get that out of the way. The roll that you've been seeing and will be seeing in the background, we have arrowhead break, ricochet rounds, heating up Headseeker with a counterbalance mod. That is 97 recoil direction, 43 range, 49 stability, double 28s for handling and reload, and of course it's got its good high aim assist of 75. A big part of all this is what you already have, and to me what's different about this weapon, let's talk about the perks. Third column, subsistence, stats for all, offhand strike, invisible hand, that's a new one. Haven't messed around with it too much honestly. How it works though, not too good. Repeatedly missing targets increases stability for a short time and it lasts for a short duration after you hit a target. Nah. Heating up, moving target outlaw, fourth column, adrenaline junkie, focus fury, collective action, multi-kill clip, golden tricorn, headseeker, hatchling. There's a lot to talk about here. First, I want to go through my role, why I crafted that, and it starts with Headseeker. Headseeker on a rapid fire frame is magic. It is simply straight up magic. Different Times here marks the second ever rapid fire to have Headseeker. It's craftable. And for the Crucible, I do encourage you, I nudge you towards Headseeker. Because the other one to have it is Autumn Wind. More on that in a second. But with Headseeker, body shots with this weapon grant increased precision damage and aim assist for a short time. The moment that you land a body shot, you get aim assist. It lasts for 0.55 seconds. We have a base 75 aim assist, and you're grabbing aim assist from a perk, a dueling perk. You're also getting those 26s from Headseeker. Your ease of use skyrockets. It's massive. That 0.55 duration, you could land body crit. Those 26s are going to stay with that Headseeker timer. So you can just land 26s for a couple bursts after that. So you go body 26, 26, and then just keep landing 26s. And technically, you can go from target to target with the 26s with all that added aim assist. It's just a brutal perk on a rapid fire. And because of this, it's a huge reason why I flipped my review. It's just too good. It can't be denied. The pairing third column. Most are going to go with moving target. That's great, especially enhanced. It's going to work well. Just base moving target gets the aim assist to 85, faster strafe. You add in the aim assist from Headseeker, you add in some targeting, you're cooking. But for me, the aim assist added from Headseeker at the base 75 feels great. I'm worried about accuracy at this point, because remember, with heating up, get a kill, times 1, 15% accuracy cone growth, plus 15 stability, 20 recoil direction, and at times 2 it doubles, 30% accuracy, 30 stability, 40 recoil. Once this thing starts grooving, it's a vacuum. And before I forget, rounding it all out, arrowhead break. That with the counterbalance mod gets it to 97. That's awesome. The pain point on these things are the handling. It gets it to 28. Again, add in some targeting, night and day difference. The 97 recoil consistency is where it's at. That's personally. Makes it vertical, makes it a beam. I can craft into that consistency, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Because if you do things like extended, you're gonna have to be careful. It's gonna get your handling down to 8. Yes, 8. You can get into a lot of trouble with some of these barrels, but things like small bore, hammer forged, poly, those are gonna work. And your direct comparisons, just a different experience. On that other side, Outlast, the little light brother, Encore kill clip. Great combinations all around, but I do recommend a Headseeker on this thing for the Crucible. It's a pro to be crafted with pretty good stats, but the con about all of that is Autumn Wind. And I say that because the rolls obtained for Autumn Wind, the blood, sweat, tears, baboon, cabbages, boars, it was worth it. It is worth it. Like this roll right here, first roll I'm going to show you, Hammer Forged, Ricochet, Range Masterwork, Rangefinder, Headseeker. Rangefinder isn't nerfed as of right now, and it should be used. The drop-off is 37.8 meters. Different times, the way I have it set up is 32.6. So 5 meters. These have great fall-off, so that 38 really extends out there with its fall-off. After the nerf, we have this one. Same setup, but with extended, 57 range, 57 stability, but we have Killing Wind Headseeker. The base 57 range hits at 34.4 meters, 2 more meters than my different times. But with Killing Wind active, after this rangefinder nerf, it goes to 38.7, essentially placing it exactly where rangefinder was. Only this time, while I'm getting the plus 20 range, I'm also getting 40 handling. So the big downfall of these frames, I'm adding plus 40, I'm getting plus 50 mobility, 5% increased damage fall off distance, and it lasts for 5 seconds, can chain, with a good scaler. And a side note, watch out for Killing Wind Headseeker Autumn Wind once range is neutralized. I think it's going to be a killer. It's going to be brutal. But ultimately, this is one of those things, if you already have a great Autumn Wind, why even bother crafting different times? That was one of my main things going into this review. And what's nice about Destiny, we play different activities, we have different roles. And for me, having the Rangefinder Headseeker, having the Killing Wind Headseeker, really not appealing to go craft this different times. And that's one of those things you're going to have to consider. More on that in a moment. Aside from Headseeker, we're going to start breaking into PvE. We have Golden Tricorn, 50% more damage after that first kill. So your tier 10 opponents in PvP at base are going to require 8 crit, 1 body. So 9 bullets, 3 full bursts. With Golden Tricorn times 1, you can do 7 crit, 1 body. 1 bullet less for a 0.73. In tier 5 and under, you can go 7 crit for a 0.67. Good TTKs. For what it's worth, multi-kill clip, the TTKs are fairly similar to Golden Tricorn. But with Tricorn, you don't need a reload. In the end, moving target or heating up with Headseeker. If consistency is a big deal for you, I would go arrowhead break with a counterbalance mod. If not, maybe piece it together with small bore or hammer forged. For PvE, we do have options. Strand-wise, we have Hatchling. Not bad for a strand build. But honestly, what I plan to do and what I would recommend is what I did with Perpetualis, Golden Tricorn. Pulse Rifle's got that 20% damage buff in PvE. They're doing a little bit better. And with Strand Tricorn, incredibly easy to proc times 2. First kill's 15% more damage, you land that ability Final Blow, it's 50% more damage. Things like the buff Strand Hunter melee is a dream now. You can get a kill if there's a large group. If it gets tags, gets Final Blows, it's going to come back. If you catch it, you can get the cooldown back. Well, that's 50% more and you can go do it again. Pulses are always in the artifact, one reason or another. They're with champions a good amount of the time. And then we have the Suspend Warlock. Again, Golden Tricorn has a great interaction with the Suspend build. A lot of the time, the simple act of suspending will proc Golden Tricorn times 2, so you don't have to do anything at all. Basically, just play. 50% more damage. Boom. It's awesome. So that's where I'm going. And the main appeal is that it's a Strand Pulse Rifle. Simple as that. Some may need that, some may want that, some don't care. It's always good that we have options. The pairing perk in the third column would be Subsistence or Outlaw. With Tricorn, same would go with Hatchling. We have perks like Collective Action. It's a new perk. Collecting elemental pickups or throwing a Strand Tangle grants a longer period of increased damage. So those elemental pickups, things like Fire Sprites, Void Breaches, Stasis Shards, Ionic Traces, and once you do that, you get 20% more damage. It's like an inherent harmony. I do think that Tricorn is going to be better on this particular weapon, and there is a very specific hand cannon in PvP with this perk, with a certain stasis build, 2-tapping. I don't see that lasting for too much longer. We have Adrenaline Junkie, always going to be fine, but I think that the root of success is Tricorn and Hatchling for PvE. In conclusion, it has some pros, it has some cons. I went through those. Some pulse rifles are simply just better on paper, technically in-game as well. It will translate, like Autumn Wind. We have Horror's Least, Adept with Zen Moment Kill Clip, Outlast, Encore Kill Clip, just great beast pulse rifles. But since this thing is craftable, you can suit it to your needs. It has a rare perk for this frame, Headseeker. It has strand synergy for PvE. It is undeniable. It's a very good weapon. Give it a chance like I did. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about different times down below. What are your thoughts on it? How is it placed in your loadout? Are you enjoying it? Not so much? Tell us about it. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.